The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic slasher film that is always mentioned in any horror discussion and has created quite a legacy. Leatherface, the crazed murderer who hides behind a mask of human skin, played a considerable role in the success of the film in 1974, and he is quite a pop culture icon. Leatherface was primarily known for his creative ways of committing murders, and his character was inspired by a real-life killer named Ed Gein. He even has some unique physiological features, and today we will explore his anatomy and tell you everything about the Texas Chainsaw Murderer. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. How tall is the gigantic psycho killer? Leatherface is quite a daunting character and often comes across as a towering and intimidating presence in films. In the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, Gunnar Hansen played the role of this crazed killer. Gunnar's height is around 6 feet 4 inches tall, while Leatherface's character is known to be 6 feet 7 inches tall. Leatherface's tall height is one of the defining features that make him such a scary character, so it was crucial that the creators focused on this detail. To get this detail right, Gunnar used to wear 3-inch tall heels, and his shoes were probably designed to add in the few extra inches missing from his height. Later, Mark Burnham played the role of Leatherface in Netflix's newest Chainsaw Massacre films. Burnham is about 6 feet 4 inches tall, so he probably also wore custom-made shoes with heels to ensure he reached the correct height. Over the years, actors such as Bill Johnson, R.A. Mihailoff, Robert Jacks, Sam Strike, and many others have played the role of this psycho killer. While these men have a good height, Leatherface's character is 6 feet 7 inches tall, and it is likely that a lot of them wore heels to get this detail right. What makes Leatherface such a deadly machine? Leatherface has a range of powers and abilities, from superhuman strength and speed to sneaking up on people undetected. He often took his victims by surprise by sneaking up on them, and they would only feel his presence after he appeared right before them. He was even quite speedy when it came to running after his targets, and he did not slow down even when holding heavy weapons. He was also powerful, and he could break through a wall, splash people's skulls, and even lift people to throw them far away in the distance. Leatherface could also withstand any attacks without suffering much damage, and he once even continued to fight after being beaten up by a bunch of people. Leatherface's body was quite durable, and he could even continue fighting after being dragged around with a chain around his neck. He had incredible stamina and did not give up even after being shot with a gun. He usually preferred to use a hammer and a chainsaw to attack his victims, and he usually chose to sneak up on them and swiftly end their lives with these weapons. What's the deal with his morbid masks? Leatherface is famously known for his trademark masks made of human skin, and his character was seen wearing various masks across the franchise. In the original film, Leatherface's mask was made from the skin of a road tripper named Kirk by cutting holes in place of his eyes, nostrils, and lips. He wore Kirk's skin as a mask while slaughtering meat for his family, and he later wore 2 other face masks during the film's duration. The second mask was made from the skin of an old woman with gray hair, also known as the granny mask. Leatherface wore the 3rd mask at the dinner table, and he would even wear a dark suit and tie along with this mask. While the first film set the precedent of Leatherface changing his human mask for different occasions, the rest of the movies in the franchise also continued with this particular detail. The second film showed Leatherface donning a mask stitched together with seams that made him appear as Frankenstein's monster, and this mask covered his entire face and even brought a comedy element to the film. The third film showed Leatherface creating a new mask with the victim's skin, and it even went into all the graphic details as Leatherface trimmed and shaped his victim's skin to fit his face. It was later even revealed that his victims' loved ones had been forced to watch Leatherface as he created this morbid mask, and Leatherface once again cut holes in the mask so they could see his terrifying eyes. Kim Henkel's The Next Generation showed Leatherface change changing his masks just like in the original film, wherein he started with the standard mask that he used to wear to work. As the movie progressed, he secured a mask similar to the first movie's granny mask, only this time the mask was complete with earrings, pearls, and a gray hair wig. Eventually, Leatherface wore this mask with a fancy evening gown as he headed to prom, and even expressed his plans to create a new mask from the face of a girl named Jenny. In the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, Leatherface had fashioned a mask out of the skin of Kemper, and this was one of the most terrifying looks so far. This mask had even shocked Kemper's girlfriend as she realized that Leatherface would probably go after her next. And this movie also revealed that Leatherface hides behind a mask because he was bullied for his looks as a child due to a skin condition. A prequel to this 2003 remake further explored that Leatherface's face was disfigured, and he used to wrap his face in bandages initially, and even used animal skin to make a mask to cover his face before finally resorting to making a mask from human skin. John Lesson-Hop's 2013 sequel of this film showed Leatherface in a mask similar to the one he wore while working on the original film, and he later even made a new mask in this movie. There was another 2017 remake of the movie by Alexandra Bastillo and Julian Maury, wherein Leatherface would initially wear a mask made from animal skin. As the film ends, Leatherface decapitates a young nurse named Lizzie and creates a mask out of her skin in the climax scene. The Netflix remake of the film had a different backstory for Leatherface, and he makes a mask out of the skin of his orphanage's head mistress after she dies in his arms. This action was meant to portray his devotion and affection towards her, and it was a way for him to stay connected to her after her death.
Didn't ya? Go check it out, boy!
Exploring the crazy personality of this murderous killer, Leatherface was not quite mentally fit and often acted like a child scared of the outer world. He did not follow a set strategy and was often very messy while attacking his victims. In the very last film, Leatherface looked quite scared when some intruders entered his house, and he was pretty ruthless while committing murders. However, he showed a different side at home, and he did not even counterattack when his brother would beat him or bully him. Moreover, Leatherface is very quiet in this movie and primarily relies on his mask made from human flesh to express emotions. Leatherface's personality underwent changes from the franchise, and he even showed some mercy to his victims in the second film. In this movie, he formed a crush on a girl named Vanita Brock, and he even spared her life and hid her from his family. This change was not constant, as Leatherface came across an even more ruthless and aggressive killer in the third film. In this film, Leatherface's childlike persona has progressed to a more teenager-like stance, and he even shows some maturity. He came across as a rebellious teen and was even more cruel and violent towards his victims. However, Leatherface also shows a lot of love towards his family in this film, and this love is directed toward his mother, Ann Sawyer, as well as his daughter. Leatherface's fear was explored even further in the next generation, wherein this ruthless killer would often scream aloud and even try to hide away whenever he came across someone who seemed to be a threat. He had also lost his taste for violence and sought happiness in peaceful scenarios such as a quiet dinner. He did scream quite a bit in this movie due to his fear, but he was relatively a lot less troublesome. In Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface's character was initially relatively calm and composed. As the movie progresses, Leatherface starts to panic quite a bit after his mother dies, and he also cares for her in her last moments. He was seen to be quite loving toward his mother, and he later skinned her and used her skin to make a new mask out of it. He claimed this was purely out of affection, and he would often hug her dresses or hold them close to smell them. After his mother passed away, Leatherface started mercilessly killing people out of anger and rage. In this manner, this Leatherface had quite a different personality than the original Leatherface, who used to commit murders out of fear. Does Leatherface possess superpowers? There has been a lot of discussion surrounding Leatherface's powers, and fans have wondered whether he might just be superhuman. Leatherface appears invulnerable due to his scary persona, but he is actually a mortal being with exceptional weapons and a frightening mask. He does not possess superpowers as such, but he has incredible strength, stamina, and durability. Is it possible for Leatherface to father a child? Leatherface does have the ability to reproduce, and he has even fathered a daughter in the third Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. Leatherface's daughter was called Little Girl Sawyer or Bobby Sawyer, and her character was played by Jennifer Banco. It is implied that Leatherface had forced himself upon someone and that his daughter was a result of this action. Little Girl Sawyer seemed to display some of her father's troubled tendencies, and she also dragged around a doll named Sally for the duration of the movie. Upon closer look, one can see that this doll is a skeleton of a dead infant, which indicates that Leatherface must have had quite an influence on her. Later, Bobby even kills Ryan in the unrated version of the film, where he pulls a lever and releases a sledgehammer that attacks Ryan in full force and kills him. While Little Girl Sawyer's storyline was never fully revealed, a deleted cut in the film showed that she was taken away in a police car at the end of the movie. Can Leatherface be killed, or is he immortal? In the recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, the two sisters named Melody and Lila shot at Leatherface from a distance and even watched him as he fell to the ground. Even after suffering many gunshot wounds and even being stabbed by a character named Sally, Leatherface somehow emerged alive at the film's end. He would shrug these injuries off and even get angrier with each attack, and he finally even snuck up on the two sisters when they were trying to leave the town. After beheading Melody, the movie ended with a post-credit scene that showed Leatherface walking toward a house, proving that he could not have been killed after all. Leatherface's origins are not tied to any supernatural force that might have helped him recover from these attacks, and it appears that he has high durability and endurance levels that allow him to keep going after being shot. Fans have still wondered if any external force can defeat Leatherface, and there has been a lot of discussion about whether Michael Myers from the Halloween franchise would be able to fight him. While this is just speculative, fans believe that Myers is stronger and stealthier than Leatherface, and that he may be able to defeat him since he does not fear anything and also has an evil residing in his body. However, Leatherface's chainsaw is a highly deadly weapon, and Myers would have to act fast to take his life before he gets to him. At the end of the day, Leatherface is a human who does not wield any supernatural powers, which means he can be killed. However, he is more than just a strong man, and no one has managed to kill him yet. Leatherface's track record for surviving fatal attacks is impressive, and it would take great power and effort to kill him. Conclusion. To sum it up, Leatherface is quite a deadly character who has created quite a legacy for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. He is known for his crazed killer persona and has most definitely earned the title of an iconic slasher villain. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.